Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I will be going over my UFC 309 card builder. I feel like Dana's going to announce this. I'm recording this on Friday, so I'll probably upload it. I guess it's early Saturday morning for me now. But I'm going to upload this before the UFC 306 because I feel like this is when Dana's going to announce this entire card. So, yeah, I'm going to see what I can get right, maybe. A couple fights I might predict. Some fights that he already has. It's the full card from the first early prelim to the main event. So I'm going to include fights that the UFC's already made, obviously. Some I have in mind. Some fighters I think are going to be on it based on what I've been hearing. And yeah, I mean, we got the news of the Chandler Oliveira co-main today, which is very shocking, actually, because Conor McGregor's a little bitch. Gotta get his ass back and fight. So yeah, moving on without further ado, first fight of the night. It's what I made, actually. Jose Johnson versus Mitch Raposo. I just think because Mitch Raposo is from the area, it's just a good fight to start it off with. Two flyweights, they'll probably be explosive, and it's not a women's fight, not WMMA, so you can actually get some viewers to start off the card, and you're not scraping by with very minimal viewership on the first fight. You can get viewership all the way through, and these are two guys who I think are 0-1 in the UFC. I know Mitch Raposo is. I'm pretty sure Jose Johnson is, and so winner of this gets to fight higher up. Loser is either cut or gets to fight another guy who's also on the brink of being cut, and then if they lose that, they get cut. Basically, if you lose this, you're getting the same exact fight against a different opponent. It's just who doesn't want to get cut more kind of fight. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about this matchup. I think the next couple are ones I didn't make, so I'm not going to be talking much about them. Yeah, Veronica Hardy versus, I still can't remember her name. This is the second time I'm trying to film this. Eduardo Mora. That's what it is. Yeah, Veronica Hardy versus Eduardo Mora. Like, I don't know. I didn't make it, so I personally don't give a shit. But yeah. Moving on. Ramizij, I think. Yeah, Ramizij versus Mickey Gall. Another one I didn't make, but Mickey Gall, he's a Chad. I got to see him at UFC 302. I was at 302. Will not be attending 309, however. So yeah, I got to see Mickey Gall and Basel Hafez, who I have later on this card. Actually, I did make a fight for him as well on this fight. I think they're both on similar return paths. So what better time to put him back on if it's in the area again? But yeah, Mickey Gall versus Razmij, something like it's close like that. It's got a Z and a J at the end. That's all that really matters. But again, I didn't make this fight, so that's all I have to say about that. Fight I did make: Billy Goff versus Basil Hafez. I think that's how you say his name. So yeah, I think this is a great fight because Basil Hafez, he's still riding the coattails of that close fight he had with JDM. Oh fuck! Oops. There we go. He's still riding that close fight he had with JDM, but then he went and had a war with Mickey Gall. So it's like I don't really know how to properly rate his skill because going from having a close fight with JDM to having a close fight with Mickey Gall, it's really off-putting. I mean, the Mickey Gall fight he obviously won and JDM he lost, but I would say they were both pretty close fights. So it's really throwing me off as to where Basel Hafez sits. So I think a good test is against a local guy in Billy Goff. I think he's local, and yeah, just to see where he's at. And he's on a similar return path as Mickey Gall, so I think they could both go on this card. Just welterweights on the other card because I have to fill this undercard up. Moving on to a fight I didn't make. You saw earlier. It's one of these ladies' names. Hold on. That fight is they're two ranked fighters too. Oh, Karine Silver and Vivian Araujo. I don't know. I can't pronounce these ethnic ass names. So this is Araujo. This is Souza. No, it's not. Fuck. Souza's fighting this weekend. Karine Silva and Vivian Araujo. I didn't make the fight. Moving on. I'm done with this fucking fight. Okay, this is a fight I did make. Claudio Puelles versus Chase Hooper. I think this is a good fight. It's a great fight. Two grapplers. And it's a good fight. John Jones. let me tell you about John Jones. He's the greatest pound for pound of all time. He's the pound for pound #1 in the sport. If you say otherwise, you shouldn't be talking about MMA. You should not be talking. You shouldn't even be able to watch UFC. But yeah, with John Jones, it's a big name, especially fighting Stipe. You could do GOAT versus like all-time GOAT versus heavyweight GOAT. And I got a couple, and especially because we're gonna stop filming these videos so late. But yeah, we have big names like Chandler and Oliveira, and who I have also at the top of the card. I have I have two more big names, big name matchup. But with those names at the top, you could really put some. You could stack this undercard with some young talent, some young prospect talent, and I think Chase Hooper can be that, especially if he gets a win over Claudio Puelles, which I think he would. I think he'd be able to out grapple Claudio Puelles. And this is going to be bottom 15 conversations. Maybe this fight, one more, then he could fight for the bottom 15 position, kind of. And yeah, I just think it's a good matchup. Exciting grappling matchup for once, too. Because when it's two high level grapplers, that's when you get the best grappling matchups. And yeah, that's all we have to say about this fight. Moving on, we have Peyton Talbot and Davy Grant. This is the fight I came up with. I think I made it for the 303. Peyton Talbot didn't end up fighting Davy Grant, but I still think this fight's on the table. It's just a veteran name. It's kind of a can for Peyton Talbot, but you give him one more can, then you start looking up to like 20 through 25 in the rankings, and then after that you can talk about top 15. But if you're gonna build up guys slow, Peyton Talbot should be no different. If you're building up Bo Nickel slow, Raul Rosas slow, let's build up Peyton Talbot slow. Let's give him Davy Grant. I think it's an easy win for him, but I think it could also just be another highlight reel win for him. So, and that's pretty important when building a prospect. You got to have memorable moments, high profile knockouts and submissions and just finishes, or just a dominant like 30-25 decision. And I think no matter what, Davy Grant's going to give you that. Like Peyton Talbot's going to give you that against Davy Grant. It's going to be exactly what you want. It's going to be the outcome you think's going to happen and want to happen. So yeah, that's why I think this fight's a good fight, and it's not on the early prelim; it's on the normal prelim, which I think is where Peyton Talbot belongs right now. He shouldn't be below. He shouldn't be fighting alongside fucking Mickey Gall, but he shouldn't be on the main card yet. So this is where he sits. And yeah, moving on, we got Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee. This is a fight I did not make. I really don't have any opinions on it because I did not make this fight. So yeah, we're just gonna move on. I got the prelim headliner between Chris Weidman and Eric Anders. I didn't make this fight, but I understand why they did. Chris Weidman around the New York, New Jersey area, trying to give him another win against Eric Anders. I don't know if he'll win them, but after he won in Atlantic City against Bruno Silva, so if he wins this fight, he honestly might be looking at like bottom 15 of the rankings fights if he still fights. I think he should be retired after that leg break. And especially just he beats Bruno Silva via 14 eye pokes in a row. I think he should have retired then. Just go out with a win, man. But he didn't do that. He's stubborn and he's looking to fight more, so they threw him on here against Eric Anders. I don't really know what to expect. I didn't do the research in this fight because I did not make it. So yeah, that's all I gotta say at that. Moving on to the the first fight of the pay-per-view. Paul Craig, Scotland. Paul Craig versus Bo Nickel. I saw like an Instagram post or something like that about this fight being made for 309, and I do not mind it. Paul Craig's probably the number 16 or 17 ranked guy in the world right now, and I think it's a great ground test. This is the fraud test check. If Paul Craig beats you, it's the perfect fraud check. But if you beat Paul Craig, then like you know you can you can at least hang in the rankings. This is the perfect fight for Bo Nickel, I think, because he should be fighting somebody in the rankings, if not just outside it. In this case, that is Paul Craig, who's probably sitting around 16, 17. And yeah, this will be a great chance for Bo Nickel. This will be a great chance for Bo Nickel to also test out his jiu-jitsu, because I know this fight will be on the ground a lot. I know he can outstrike Paul Craig. It's how will he do against the bottom guard game of Paul Craig? Can he outlast it? Can he avoid submissions? Can he get a submission of his own? And we know they love putting Bo Nickel on the pay-per-view. They put him on 300. No reason they wouldn't put him on the pay-per-view 309. So I'll toss him on there. And yeah, that's all I really got to say about this fight. I think this is a great fight to make. I didn't make it. Well, I did kind of because it's not on the it's not announced or anything yet. But I think this is a great idea. I think the UFC should do it. Moving on. Nikita Krylov versus Asmat Murzakanov. That is Asmat Murzakanov, right? I'm not tripping. I'm just gonna make sure. I think his name's Asmat Murzakanov, right? I shouldn't doubt myself. Yeah, that is Asmat Murzakanov. So yeah, Nikita Krylov is alive, guys. I did post that on my Instagram. Go follow my Instagram, by the way, at Gerwin MMA. Same with my Twitter. I don't really post on Twitter or TikTok. It's all Gerwin MMA. But I'd appreciate it. Links in the description. But Nikita Krylov versus Asmat Murzakanov. This is a fight that it's all right. Nikita Krylov hasn't fought in a while, so nice to get him back in there against. Oh man, guys. I should edit that out, but I won't. Nikita Krylov, he's alive, fighting the battle of Ukraine. I don't know why he just went ghost on social media and anything, anywhere. No fight news, nothing. But I'm happy that he is in fact alive and he's fighting Asmat Murzakanov, who this will be a great fight. Good stand-up fight. Real test to see if Krylov still got it after that decent stint he was off. But be about a year and a half when it gets to 309. Probably looking at around 500 days, a little longer than Chandler, who will be also fighting on this card. So long layoffs coming back on this card. Speaking of our first major fight that I have next, Covington Ian Gary. I saw that Instagram post that Colby Covington was hanging out. He didn't ride a bull because he had a fight coming up in November. And I know his ass isn't fighting on anything but a pay-per-view. And I would have matched him up against, like, I think I had him matched up against Oliveira. I thought Oliveira was going to move up, but no. Oliveira's ass is fighting Chandler. And Poirier said he wouldn't fight him. So who else would be a big money fight other than Ian Machado, Gary himself? Gary's looking to fight up the rankings. Colby Covington washed his shit. I know his ass wants to fight Gilbert Burns after that Sean Brady performance, but it's not that time yet. Gilbert won't be. Oh god, it's coming again. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. God damn. But this is a great fight. This history between these two, they went back and forth on Twitter. This will get the paper. This will be a great tone setter for the final three fights. For like just hype wise, once this fight comes on, everybody's intrigued. You're gonna get the viewership up, and the last two fights will happen. Last two fights, I think you guys know what it is. One of them is gonna be in the thumbnail. One of them was announced today. It's the biggest fight on the card announced so far. So without further ado, Oliveira Chandler. Now this fight surprised the fuck out of me. As you could tell, I had Oliveira fighting somebody completely different. So glad I didn't record this already, because I would have been pissed, because then my entire main card would have been thrown the fuck off. Because if you did not know, I had Usman on this card. I had Usman fighting against fucking Ian Gary. Yeah, real card shaker upper. This news was. But yeah, man, this is a fight. It's a good fight. I think Oliveira is gonna make easy work out of Chandler, because Chandler hasn't fought, and last time they fought, I know Chandler got off to an early lead, 10-8 after beating the piss out of Oliveira. But I feel it's gonna be different now. This is a different Charles and a different Chandler. Good for Charles, worse for Chandler. And if he was able to get him out of there in round 2 the first time, he might even be able to do it in round 1 this time. But I think Chandler survives till 3. It'd be like a late round 3 submission. No, early round 3 submission from Oliveira over Chandler. But I digress. Great fight. I'm hyped for it, because it's two skilled fighters. I haven't seen Chandler fight in forever. And yeah, if he wins, then McGregor Chandler becomes for a title shot, believe it or not, which would be crazy. And if Oliveira wins, they might just do McGregor Oliveira and just toss Chandler to the side. Tell him how much time he wastes. So yeah, that's all I got to say about this fight. Moving on to the main event of the evening. I'll give you guys about 3 seconds to guess what I'm about to say. All right, time's up. If you didn't say this fight, you're a fucking idiot. John Jones, the greatest of all time, greatest pound for pound in the world right now, for Stipe Miocic. Now, this should be Tom Aspinall, but I know Dana's pink bald fucking ass is not gonna do it. So I came up with what I think Dana White's gonna do, not what I would do. Aspinall should be the backup for this fight though, and this time if somebody pulls out, we're not giving him Pavlovich, we're not giving him fucking Cyril Gahn, we're not giving him Volkov, we're not just tossing somebody else in this main event. No. He's gonna fight the other person. Jones pulls out again, then guess what? Aspinall Stipe, buddy. Stipe pulls out, Aspinall Jones, buddy. Either way, I think Aspinall would win and be the undisputed champion. But I digress. Aspinall is not fighting. It's John Jones, Stipe Miocic, the fight that Dana White claims is being just ruled over. This is the fight to make, even though it's not. Nobody's asking for this fight unless you're old as fuck. But yeah, so that's my UFC 309 card builder from early prelim to main event. Please, guys, let me know in the comments if you agree with these fights, if you don't, if there's any fights that you'd like to see in this card that I didn't include, or any of these fights that you think are stupid as fuck that I made. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. I will see you in my 306 card recap. I'll try to get that out at like 2:30 a.m. on tomorrow, right after the card. But yeah, that's all I really got to say for now, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.